Krásný dobrý den! In this video you're going to learn the difference between the verbs zkusit and snažit se, which is a question that I often get asked by my students, because zkusit or zkoušet and snažit se are all translated as try. So how do we know how to translate to try into Czech? You will learn that today. Jdeme na to! Dobrý den, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. Zkusit and zkoušet versus snažit se. All these verbs relate to effort. Zkusit and zkoušet are actually the same verb, except zkusit is a perfective verb and zkoušet is an imperfective verb. Let's start with these two verbs. Zkusit and zkoušet. Zkusit would be related to a single effort. For example, we test something, we try something out, we give it a try. We experiment, but it's usually just once. Zkusit. Zkoušet is an imperfective verb and it emphasizes continuous effort. We experiment, we test something several times to see if it works. Let's see some examples. Zkusím to ještě jednou. I'll try it one more time. We use the verb zkusit, the perfective verb, because we're talking about something we will do once, just to test something once. Zkusím to ještě jednou. I'll give it another try. Or you're trying to find a different route, so you can say zkusíme jet zkratkou. We'll try taking a shortcut. Zkusíme jet zkratkou. Zkratka is a shortcut. We use zkusit, the perfective verb, because we're talking about a one-time experiment. We're gonna test if this route is gonna work. Zkusíme jet zkratkou. Now let's see an example with zkoušet, the imperfective verb. For example, zkouším nový mikrofon. Zkouším nový mikrofon. I'm testing a new microphone. Zkouším, because I'm testing it, I'm trying it right now. So zkoušet, the imperfective verb, is the one that you're gonna use for present tense. Zkusit cannot be used for present tense. Po škole zkoušel různá zaměstnání. After school, he tried different jobs. Po škole zkoušel nová zaměstnání. We use zkoušet, the imperfective verb, because we're talking about these experiments that he tried several times. He tried several jobs. Zkoušel. You want to emphasize it was a process. It took some time. Po škole zkoušel různá zaměstnání. Now, careful. We also use the verb zkusit and zkoušet when we talk about trying on clothes, just like in English. And just like in English, there is a small difference. In English, you say try something on, usually. And in Czech, we also add something. We say zkusit si, zkoušet si. So we make it reflexive. Zkusit si, zkoušet si means to try on. Zkus si tyhle boty. Try on these shoes. Zkus si tyhle boty. We can use both zkusit si and zkoušet si. Depends if you want to say that you're trying it right now, zkoušet si. Or that you were trying it on several times, or you were trying on several pieces of clothing. So you could say zkoušet si. Zkusit si is just trying on one time. So remember, zkoušet and zkusit means to try. Zkusit is related to trying something once, testing once. Zkoušet is repeated. Zkoušet si and zkusit si means to try something on. Now, what about the verb snažit se? Here's what you have to remember about this verb. Snažit se always comes with se. It's always together. So we cannot say snažit. It's reflexive. One of those obligatory ones. Snažit se. And it's the only form. It's an imperfective verb, and we don't have a common equivalent of a perfective one. We do, but I'm not going to mention it here. It's not that common. We usually just use snažit se, the imperfective version. Just remember snažit se. It is imperfective and it is reflexive. Snažit se. Snažit se shows a lot of determination. Unlike zkusit and zkoušet, it's like testing, see if it works. But snažit se means to try hard, to make a lot of effort, to do your best, to strive. Sometimes snažit se and zkoušet are interchangeable, but snažit se wants to emphasize that something took a lot of effort. So remember, snažit se shows determination and persistence. People could say, snažím se zhubnout. I'm trying to lose weight. Snažím se zhubnout. That would mean it takes a lot of determination. It's a lot of effort. Actually, if you said zkouším zhubnout, it almost sounds like you are losing weight, but you are trying to see if it's going to help you with whatever, if it's going to help you feel better, feel healthier, for example. Snažím se zhubnout means that you are trying to lose weight. Maybe it's not going so easily, but you are trying. Snažil jsem se mu pomoct, ale nechtěl. I tried to help, but he didn't want. Snažil jsem se mu pomoct, ale nechtěl. So here you're saying that you really did your best to convince him, I'm gonna help you, or you did help him and that person kept pushing you away and saying, no, I don't need your help. Here you could say zkoušel jsem mu pomoct. It would be very similar, but snažil jsem se mu pomoct shows you really tried. Nesnaž se mě přemluvit. Don't try to persuade me. Nesnaž se mě přemluvit. Again, someone's pushing you, someone's trying their best, they're trying to persuade you. Nesnaž se mě přemluvit. Or if you recommend doing something for someone and they say, I'll do my best, I'll try, they would say, budu se snažit. Budu se snažit. Remember, snažit se is an imperfective verb, so we have to use budu or budeš for the future tense. Budu se snažit. You can use it like that. Budu se snažit. Or you could add more. You could add an infinitive. Budu se snažit to udělat. I'll do my best to do it. Budu se snažit to udělat včas. I'll do my best to do it in time. Or if you can't remember a name and you're really trying, really digging in your brain, snažím se si vzpomenout na jméno. I'm trying to remember the name. Snažím se si vzpomenout na jméno. Snažím se. I'm really trying to remember. And again, here you could say, zkouším si vzpomenout na jméno. But snažím se shows how hard you're trying. So remember, zkusit and zkoušet are verbs that you use when you are trying to do something, experimenting, testing something. For example, trying a new hobby, trying a different route, trying different jobs. It's a quick attempt. Zkusit si and zkoušet si is to try on clothes. And then snažit se. Snažit se means to work hard, to do your best. It's a long-term effort, it's persistence. For example, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to learn Czech, you are trying to improve your skills. Something that doesn't really happen overnight. Remember that with the verb snažit se, you really are making a lot of effort. And one more thing, try is also used with food. We say, try it, try this sauce, or try this pizza, is fantastic. In Czech, we usually don't say zkusit when you offer someone food and you say try it right now. Try it as in taste it. We would use the verb taste. So we would say ochutnat. If you are at a restaurant or you're cooking and you say, try this, you would say ochutnej to. Ochutnej to. You don't say zkus to, because if you say zkus to, it sounds like you want them to try doing something, try to eat it. You could use it related to food if you want to say I'm trying new recipes, new restaurants. But if you want to say try it as in taste it, then it is ochutnat. All clear? Let's see. Okay, now it's time for an exercise. There are 6 sentences for you and your task is to complete them with the verbs zkusit, zkoušet or snažit se. Pause the video and resume it when you're ready to check it. Číslo 1. Ráda zkouším nové věci. This is an experiment, so you need to use zkouším. You are talking about new things, so it's something you do several times. Snažit se doesn't work here because you don't have a verb, you don't have an activity. It's just related to testing, like experimenting with new things. Číslo 2. Snažím se na to nemyslet. Snažím se na to nemyslet. You're trying hard not to think about it. You could say zkouším na to nemyslet. It's also possible. We don't have much context, but if you say zkouším na to nemyslet, it sounds more like you are trying to see, you're testing, you're trying to see if this strategy is gonna help you with something. Snažím se na to nemyslet, you're simply saying you're working hard on not doing this. Číslo 3. Zkus to nejdřív říct pomalu. Zkus to nejdřív říct pomalu. Try it and see if it works. It's an experiment, one-time experiment. You could also say, snaž se nejdřív to říct pomalu. Snaž se to nejdřív říct pomalu. Which would mean that it's something that you should be doing, working hard on this. It would emphasize that you are really struggling. So really now try hard to say it slowly. But if you just want to say try it and see if it works, you would say zkus to. Číslo 4. Aleš se zkoušel dostat na práva. He tried it. Zkoušel se dostat na práva. I would not say zkusil. Here we want to emphasize he was going through some process. It's not so quick. He had to pass an exam and maybe several exams. He had to study. So zkoušet is definitely better. Aleš se snažil dostat na práva could be also used if you want to emphasize that he really worked hard. So why not? We don't have enough context. We could say Aleš se snažil dostat na práva. Číslo 5. Snažil jsem se to pochopit. Tried hard. It was a lot of effort. Snažil jsem se to pochopit. Just like in number 2, if you say zkusil or zkoušel, zkoušel jsem to pochopit, and I still didn't understand this situation. So when you have verbs related to thinking, like in number 2 we had nemyslet, and here we have pochopit, to get it. It's often connected with snažit se. A číslo 6. Kamila se celou dobu snažila udělat dojem na Luďka. She was really trying to impress Luděk. Snažila se. We can use snažila se if we want to say she was trying hard. Udělat dojem, to impress. And if we want to say that it was more like an experiment, she was trying to see if she is that powerful, for example, we could say zkoušela. Kamila celou dobu zkoušela udělat dojem na Luďka. It sounds okay, but I think snažila se is better. Snažit se udělat dojem, snažit se to pochopit, snažit se na to myslet, nemyslet. And remember, snažit se usually would require some verb. We want to say that we are trying hard to do something. All clear? Ještě jednou. Zkusit is to try something, a single attempt, something that doesn't take much effort. Zkoušet is to continue trying or to do at this moment, to experiment, versus snažit se. Snažit se, to try hard, requires more effort. And zkusit si and zkoušet si means to try on. To je ode mě všechno. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, write them below in the comments and I'll be happy to answer it. And I'll see you next week. Uvidíme se příští týden. Mějte se. Čau, čau.